All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this the day after, the Strickland Podcast Network, the Knicks win in blowout fashion, 128 to 106. Really fun game. Really fun game. Just like good vibes all around. Um, a really good RJ game, which has been something that we haven't been able to say all that much often lately. So we'll get into that. Good Randall game, good Mitchell Robinson game, pretty decent Brunson bounce back game. Grimes hit some nice shots, hit some threes. Quickly and Hart doing their thing off the bench as a nice little dynamic duo. Um, you know, and we even got to see Derrick Rose minutes after he got, Derrick Rose chance. Um, Bringing back the days of when Mike Woodson used to ask Rasheed Wallace if he wanted to come into the game. So the energy is really high. Knicks 5 straight wins, 5-0 since acquiring Josh Hart. You know, it's just fun times here. Fun times here. 8 games above 500. Sights are pretty locked on to that 5th seed and maybe even the 4th seed if we keep things going the way they're going right now. But yeah, I mean, really fun game. It's fun to see a Knicks blowout at home. And pretty much able to just like coast and watching this game. Jeff, how'd you feel about this game?
Yeah, I mean, this was awesome. You don't get too many games like that where there's pretty much nothing to complain about. I mean, there was a little bit of sloppiness there. We had 19 turnovers. Like that's really, really rare for the style of basketball that we play,
Mm-hmm.
which is predicated around not turning the ball over. Like, like we like to complain about the lack of ball movement and the stagnancy, but some of that is intentional. Like some of the goal is to turn it over as little as possible and to create
Mm-hmm.
more offensive rebound attempts. And to turn it over 19 times in a game, you're just not going to see that too often from the Knicks. And in spite of that, I mean, 24 assists to 19 turnovers is not good, and we just blew the doors off them. Like that, if that doesn't symbolize how good this team is right now, I don't know what will. You said a good RJ game, but I feel like that kind of undersells it. I mean,
Yeah, it was a great
25,
RJ game.
25 points on 13 shots, 7 assists, which is probably a season high. He was what?
It is a season high.
Oh, yeah. I think pretty clearly he was the team's best distributor and like best initiator. I loved the way he was playing. I thought he had one bad possession by my count, like the entire game. And that was in the second half. He just over dribbled and the one where he knocked Josh Richardson out. That was a pretty bad possession. But he was really good on both ends from start to finish, for the most part. I mean, we're always going to talk about how good Quickly was. Quickly and Hart having 5 stocks, like the stock is going up on those guys. I mean, Quickly. I don't know. I don't know if I should have texted you, Sam, because you're like me and you're a degenerate like me. Quickly last night on DraftKings plus 15,000 to win 6th man of the year.
Yeah,
now
it's plus 10,000.
Yeah, it's just falling out of the sky. I bet it's lower after tonight. Like,
yeah,
dude is just
going to keep dropping.
It's going to keep dropping because he's the best 6th man. Like, there isn't a better player coming off the bench in the NBA right now. And I mean, part of that is because Quickly probably shouldn't be coming off the bench. Like, that's not shade at Grimes. It's just Quickly's too good to, have his minutes limited the way they are. I mean, he got 27 minutes tonight, but the point is that he's never playing 40 minutes in a game. And that, in my opinion, that isn't optimal, but whatever. Yeah, really good game. I'm rambling on too long. I'm just going to pass it over to Tyrese. Really happy. That was just a really fun one to watch.
That's a good word you said, fun, because the Knicks are fun. And it's good when the Knicks are fun. Like, they're doing backboards off, like, they're throwing backboards for alley hoops and stuff, and it's like, the vibe around this team just feels really good right now. We're getting a chance for Derrick Rose like he's Rasheed Wallace. Um, what more can you say about this team other than like fun basketball? The style that we could argue about all day long is working, and realistically, like they're a game and a half up on Miami right now. They're a half game back of the Nets for the 5th seed. So tomorrow night, the team could be realistically in 5th. So like momentum is going the next way. This is probably the best game from the big three, I want to say, in a while. Like from each individual member of the quote unquote mid three. Especially like you said, thoughts about game for RJ, which was sorely needed, especially as a decision maker and as a passer. I do think we kind of have understated how much Mitch matters to his passing, because Mitch is like usually his first target when he makes those rim reads, and
That's a
he was
great
able to
point,
find
Tyrese.
he was able to find Mitch a couple times on lobs underneath the basket. I think he had 3 like distributions to Mitch. I feel like as a whole the team was like passing to Mitch a lot, which was really good to see. I know Brunson had like a rim read that like it resulted in him taking like a screen and like making it to a pick and roll where he actually passed it to Mitch Robinson underneath the basket. And I was like, oh my God, we never do this. This is great. He's done it twice in 2 games. Progress, we'll take it. But yeah, like I think RJ having Mitch back is kind of like a security blanket for him. I feel like he played a really strong game. He had 3 turnovers, but like 2 of those turnovers were just really bullshit. They're offensive fouls that like, come on, man. Like, who cares if you hit a dude in the face? It's not an offensive foul. Who cares? Otherwise, like, really good playmaking for him. If he could continue to just pass out of drives, like the shooting is nice. I'm glad he was able to hit his threes, but him passing out of drives is going to be so huge to his ceiling for this team. And like he went 8 of 13, and I feel like he still forced up a couple of really bad shots, which means that like which shows you how strong his game was, because like he was so efficient and he really could have been even more efficient tonight. Yeah, really strong RJ game, really good game from everybody involved. Really, like I don't really think there's a downside to anybody who played tonight. Like really good energy, really great fun. Go Knicks.
Yeah, so I mean, we could start things off with RJ. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Like you said, 8 of 13 from the field, 4-7 from three. I think that's huge right there. The threes. That is something that like before All-Star break, there was like discussions about like his jumper looking flat, and the jumper was something that was just not dropping for him like as of late. So to see him put the ball in from three and on volume is pretty encouraging. Hopefully, he could continue to keep this up. He was able to show off a variety of threes too. There was a pull up 3 that he took. There was some off the catch. So he started off the game with like a step back mid range jumper. I know he hasn't been the best on twos this year, but it's just good to see a variety of different types of shots going in alongside of the passing. So yeah, it was great to see him have this game. Very good bounce back game from him. Hopefully this could keep him rolling, because as you can see, when he is rolling and then when everyone else has got it pretty much going, this is a pretty potent offense that is really hard to stop. So yeah.
I think just the one thing I hate that I'm like this. Like I need someone to like fucking do a lobotomy or something so I don't think this way. But Tyrese said earlier, he said, this, whatever we think of the style, it works. There have never been relative questions about Tibbs' style working in the regular season. The question is, are we building something that is prepared for a postseason series when we're going to be schemed against, when a team is going to be game planning specifically to stop our strengths? Do we have a plan B, a plan C? Because I think the conversation needs to be more nuanced than it clearly works or it clearly doesn't work. This is a really talented team, and Tibbs has built an offense that basically lets Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, their 2 best players, play to their strengths, and also somehow plays to Mitchell Robinson, their third best player's offensive strengths. So like I don't think there's any question that over the vacuum of an 82 game season, it's going to work on a relative basis. But I don't think we're going to know fully if we're maximizing this team ceiling or even approaching the team ceiling until we see it healthy play a playoff series. I'm trying to spin this as like neutral and non-negative as possible because I want to be optimistic and I want anyone listening to be optimistic. But I do think that needs to be pointed out that like when people say, or at least someone like me who I consider myself, rational. When I say, okay, like, we're not sure yet, I'm just saying that I'm thinking more long-term and more about, the playoffs, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think it is a cause for concern for the playoffs. But at the same time, the vibes are nice, and I'm not going to ruin the vibes. So
Fair. Another person that had a bounce back game, Jalen Brunson, 20 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 of 13 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. Was able to get to the free throw line a bunch tonight. Hit his threes, which he was not really able to do last game. Last game he wasn't able to hit much of anything, but it was good to see him have a bit of a bounce back game. Wasn't the strongest of games, but it was much better than that yesterday's game. So there's that.
I thought Brunson passed really well. I usually don't feel that way, but he had a couple passes, including one to Quickly in the corner, in the weak corner. That was just like, man, like I wish he would use his vision more. I thought Brunson had a really good distributing game, even though he only had 5 assists. I thought we missed a lot of shots off of plays he made.
I think that's like okay, tell me if I'm wrong. The Knicks are a decent passing team. We just don't get assists. I feel like we make decent reads. I feel like we're able to kick it out to the open man. I feel like we understand the basic tenets of like, okay, rim read, like collapse the defense, kick out. But I also kind of feel like because this team has enough juice off the bounce for a lot of guys, that like it doesn't really show up in our assist numbers. I'm not saying that we're this incredible movement offense like 2018 Warriors, but like I do think that we are a better passing team than the assist numbers show. I just kind of feel like our style and the fact that we have a lot of guys who could do stuff off the bounce really dampens those like numbers.
I think that it's an interesting discussion to have. Like Julius Randle, let's start with Julius Randle because I think he kind of summarizes where we're at pretty well. Julius Randle is objectively a talented passer, but I'm not sure he's like a good NBA passer. And what I mean by that is, to me, in 2023, good, valuable passing requires quick processing. And I swear to God, there cannot be a player in the league that misses more swing passes than Julius Randle because every time the ball hits his hands, he needs to catch and assess the situation. And it's why he's such a frustrating player. And so like, I do agree with you that like we have good passers, and I do agree with you that a lot of times we make good reads, but I just think there's something missing. And I don't know how to specifically put my finger on it, but I think it's some combination of the scheme decentralizing passing and our players just not being in that high enough tier of good passers to call the Knicks a good passing team, if that makes sense.
I get it. But I'm just like it could be better. They actually we have more assists, but like I don't know. I feel like they're able to process a bit better than I think we give them credit for. But I get what you're saying. I absolutely get what you're saying. Like, and I think someone like Josh Hart helps. Josh Hart helps to a lesser extent. Grimes and Quickly do. I feel like there's a decent mix of like good connecting passing, good processors, and then you have like the elite shot makers with Randle and Brunson. So I feel like roster construction wise is just able to work because like realistically this team is hella talented and just has a lot of guys who understand how to move the ball even when it doesn't necessarily lead to like points on the board. But we just don't leverage that enough. but at the same time, we leverage it enough to where like they can still find the open man. And when Julius Randle does make good connected passing, like he did at the end of the Wizards game yesterday, then it's like, okay, well, don't we just do this more often? But in that vein though, like we had a couple cuts to the basket when like Julius was like in the high post, and it resulted in like shots at the rim that like went in. So like I think there was one for Hart and there was one for RJ, and I think Randall had one himself where he finished it. So it's like that's a good wrinkle to have, and it's like a basic flash cut to the middle is a good wrinkle to have for the top of the middle offense. But it's like, yeah, we haven't had a lot of flash cuts, so it was good to see that.
For reference, tonight they had 24 assists on 45 field goals made. I mean, when you have a ISO heavy offense too, I think you're just gonna have like less assists. And the Knicks, they run a ton of ISO. Even in a night like tonight where it seemed like the ball was whizzing more than usual, it still sometimes gets still ISO heavy. And like before, a lot of times, like you could say, oh, the Knicks don't have assists because like guys aren't making shots. Well, tonight, like they hit a whole bunch of shots, so like that wasn't even the problem there too. Like they hit 19 threes, which is usually an issue with us in terms of hitting threes because we usually get quality looks from three. It's just a matter of us hitting them. Tonight we were able to hit them a bunch. So yeah, I think it's just a just the structure of this team and how we play.
I just want to also just recharacterize what I said a little bit because Julius Randle made some of the best passes you'll ever see tonight. Like he made two corner opposite passes that were basically no look passes that 10 players in the league can make. So he's clearly like a really talented passer. I didn't mean to like diminish his passing skill. I just think that a big part of passing is anticipation and like quick processing. And I just think that's an area where he clearly lacks. Like if you put whatever Obi has in terms of like seeing the game fast and knowing where he's going to go with the ball, if you just somehow morph that into Randall, he would just be like the best player in the league. Like,
and you would literally have like you'd have LeBron with like actual shooting,
right?
Like, it would be dumb.
Yeah, he would just be so good. And I mean, look, Randall is who he is, and he's clearly a really good player. I mean, he showed it again tonight. So I just think we've reached a point with Randall where, and by the way, like there was a moment that quickly to Randall alley-oop where the guy didn't credit quickly with an assist, which is bullshit. For the agenda.
No, he didn't get an assist.
You can't give it to him because it hit the backboard apparently.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, ridiculous. They'd give it to LeBron. Like just looking at Randall after that, like I don't know, like I said a bunch of things about Randall and not wanting him on the team, but like, and I think the points that I made and the points that me and Sam made were defensible when we made them. But I just don't get as like a human being how you can't just be happy for the guy seeing him. Like he's clearly in a really good place right now, and it's cool to see. This is just such an overwhelmingly good vibes game.
Speaking of which, nice little segue into Julius Randle tonight, 28, 7, and 5 on 11 of 20 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3. Start off the game extremely hot. You know, I thought like, okay, this is probably gonna be a repeat of yesterday, but then it turns into a blowout, and then it's like, all right, like, but yeah, he came out on fire to start this game, hitting jump shots, you know, just taking control and really set the tone offensively in terms of, you know, letting it be known, like, you know, Pelicans, they're not gonna have this one easy to start the game. And that's, you know, what you want to see out of your leading guy coming into a game off a back-to-back at home to start the game. So, you know, that was really encouraging to see. That was great to see. And, you know, it really started off the game in the right way for the Knicks, which sometimes can be an issue for this team. But yeah.
Yeah, he's just hit shots. Now he hit shots, threes at home. That was good. Jeff might be right. Maybe there's not Schrodinger's 3-point shot. He hit 5 threes and he hit 4 of them in the first quarter. He did the thing again where he hit 4 threes again. He also finished the game like 6 to 10 from 2-point range. So it's just like he's just operating at a level that, I mean, he's clearly all NBA this year. Like that's not even a conversation.
I was thinking about that, Tyrese, in a space, and somebody said it in a space, like, is Randall all NBA? And I came up with 4 guys who were clearly ahead of him, but like I couldn't come up with anybody else. Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, and Tatum. Is there anybody else?
Nope. And Embiid, Giannis are gonna Embiid, Giannis, and Tatum and Jokic are gonna be 4 of like the 6, 7. Nope, what am I saying?
Oh, right.
Because Embiid's a center. They're gonna
But
play Embiid a center.
But they all can be voted in on the same front court. Like
nobody's gonna do that. Nobody does.
But it's 9 front court positions, not 6.
Yes, 9.
Oh, yeah. So Randall's a lock. It's not even if he keeps playing like this. He might even be second. He might even be second team All NBA.
Because I don't know, KD. Like I think the big thing's gonna be like KD. Like, do people vote in KD even though he's gonna miss like a fourth of the season, not a fourth, a third of the season.
You know, LeBron's gonna get in.
Yeah, LeBron gets a legacy vote. But yeah, like I think
people are gonna have arguments for Pascal.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
You know it's gonna be there.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, dude. Pascal is on an 8 seed.
I know he's still there. You know, there's still gonna be people that make that argument for him.
He's on the 9th seed. Like, dude.
I'm not making the argument for him, but I'm saying there will be people that make an argument for him.
But
you know how NBA media is.
I do not want to hear it. If people actually voted Lauri Markkanen and Pascal Siakam over Julius Randle,
I forgot about Lauri Markkanen.
That's why
he's gonna have the MIP juice.
I feel like Sabonis is over both of them. No,
center
probably.
You go center.
But it's front court now. There's no center vote.
No, it's still forward center. I mean, like they do front court, back court, but like people would literally vote in for center anyway.
But so, you don't have to vote. Like you could vote in 2 centers in the front courts. But
nobody's voting
in last year.
Nobody's voting in Embiid as a power forward. It's not happening. Like we talked about. Don't
underestimate NBA media, man.
This was the same argument they were making last year, and nobody did it.
I'm just saying, don't underestimate NBA.
Wasn't Embiid first team last year?
No, he was second team.
Okay.
He was second team because Jokic won the MVP, and it was Giannis and I believe Tatum. Like yes, they have the ability to vote in Embiid as a forward, but nobody's gonna do it.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't test NBA media.
Like it doesn't happen. They never do it. They never do it. So like,
watch, this year's gonna be the year they do it just to get at Tyrese. They're gonna put Embiid at power forward in one of those things.
I mean, that means that Randall makes second team, so like I'm okay with that. But like, I think he makes third team just on default because you're gonna expect that Kevin Durant gets voted in, and you're gonna expect that LeBron gets a legacy vote.
I don't know if KD gets in just because the games played.
True.
He's missed so much.
True. But like the Suns are gonna be like finals contenders, and I feel like if he has a couple strong games, then like people are just gonna be like, well, it's KD. But yeah, I think right now Julius Randle's playing at all NBA level. I think he makes the team, and it's like, so you're gonna have. Although KD has only played 39 games. Holy shit,
that's what I'm saying.
He should not make that team, but like he might because he's gonna play like around, let's say, 50 games. God, that's gonna be so annoying. But anyway, back to it. Yeah, like I think he makes all NBA. And it's like 2 all NBA seasons in the last 3 years under Tom Thibodeau. Like, what more can you say about this guy? Like, this guy's clearly established himself to be one of the preeminent talents of the league, like right below that superstar-esque threshold. But I feel like he's pretty defined when he's playing like this, a star. And he's the best player on the team. With all respect to Jalen Brunson and the month that he had, he is the best player on the team.
The Jalen Brunson All-Star Snub Revenge Tour is over. It's over. It's over, guys. It was fun while it lasted, though.
Yep. It was a good time watching him drop 30 every game.
Before, Sam, you get to the ad read and we get to the comments, I just want to answer this, guys. This is a Strickland hoodie. So cop some merch, man, because this is a really sick hoodie. I don't know, Sam. What do you do? You go to the Strickland.com and then there's a store, and then you go to the store and.
Yep, you can go to strickland.bigcartel.com. Link is in the description. And you can find all the new spring collection as well as all the old stuff that we have. We've got some remixes. We got some of the older designs. They are on a newer material now. So definitely check it out. We got a whole bunch of great new stuff over there. I got some stuff coming myself. So yeah, definitely check that out. And
buy the hoodies. Buy the
yes,
hoodies. They're
buy
fire.
the hoodies.
They are fire. And I think we have more dropping soon. I think it's every week for 4 weeks we're dropping. So get in. It's gonna be fun.
All right, let's get into the ad read. As I'm doing that, feel free, people, to leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. We're on our way to 1K subs. All that you do will help us. So yeah, let me get into the ad read. It is everyone's favorite part of these shows. NBA fans, it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hands with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers, can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back. Once again, not going to discuss my endeavors today. Download the app now and sign up with code TBPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, with code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes or show description for details. All right.
Have you called the number yet?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to call a number.
For your sake, please.
Nope. All right. Ignoring.
Okay, you have to run us through the parlay. What was today's parlay?
I told Jeff today.
Me and Sam shared one, actually.
I told Jeff today.
Okay, what was it?
Wait, Sam, we can't tell him because the one guy I chose to hit a 3, Tyrese is just he's gonna light me on fire.
On what you call it? I actually couldn't find that person on FanDuel because I placed most of my bets on FanDuel, so I replaced it with Josh Richardson 2 threes, which actually did hit that line.
So you're smarter than me.
Yeah, I mean, I chose someone that I know would kill us from 3. So yeah.
Okay, so who was it?
I had Herb Jones to hit a 3.
What? All right. Herb Jones.
He wasn't listed on FanDuel, so I couldn't even put him in. So I put Josh Richardson.
Herb Jones is shooting 28% from 3.
Yeah.
Herb Jones has hit 2 threes in the last 8 games he's played.
He had Herb
Jack-
for 1-3.
I mean, on DraftKings it was plus 200, and the Knicks give up the most threes to opposing small forwards in the league. So there was my logic.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's all right, man. I just won't quit my day
donated
job. It's all good.
You could have donated to the Salvation Army, and that would have been a better use of your resources than spending money on Herb Jones. And the Salvation Army is a fucking unethical company, and it still would have been better than voting for Herb, than trying to put Herb Jones in your parlay. There are just some guys you just shouldn't bet on. Herb Jones is one of them. Now, if you would put Trey Murphy in your parlay, it would have been like, all right, I get it. It's Trey Murphy. Also, I don't know how the hell he's not starting, but like.
Because they got to give Josh Richardson minutes. That's why I put Josh Richardson in my parlay, because I knew Willie Green's been like horny to give Josh Richardson all of these guys minutes now. So
Jesus Christ, we used to be a society, and now we're putting Herb Jones on our fucking parlays. Oh my god.
Oh man. All right. Enough betting talk. Let's get to these comments. Use code TBPN. That's the end of the betting talk. Chris Bernhardt says, I see the great David Griffin created a mediocre roster can't win without the walking emergency room. Also, Herb Jones is a fraud. Oh, we're back at Herb Jones talk. Wow. Perfect first comment. But yeah, man, I mean, David Griffin, he was getting a lot of credit. You know, they were first, I mean, to David Griffin's credit, when the walking emergency room, that's a great nickname for Zion, by the way, Chris. When the walking emergency room was on the court, they were the first seed in the West. He is no longer on the court, and they are no longer the first seed in the West.
I think my thing is like, it just sucks from a standpoint of like your two best guys are going to miss so much time. You can't build a roster like that. Sustainably, you cannot build a roster where like your top two guys are liable to miss a third to half of the season. I think Zion has missed half of the season to this point. So like, I think it's less about David Griffin. I can't believe I'm defending David Griffin, but I think it's less about David Griffin and more about the fact that like you can't predict that Zion is going to miss half of the season after he missed last year entirely, and then like he talks about being in shape, and I think he was in shape for a good part of it. Like he made the All-Star team as a starter, and he rightfully deserved it. I just think it's a matter of like, wow, that's just really bad luck. But also, ultimately speaking, I think they're going to have to make a choice about like which one of those guys they're gonna have to keep. You can't have two. Like you need to have one guy who's at least reliable, and CJ McCollum is a nice player. He's not an all-star. He's just not. Like he is maybe a complimentary third piece, but like
didn't they get him to play point guard too?
Yeah, they got him to play point guard, and like he's fine. I think he's fine at being a point guard. Like, I'm not worried about that. But
yeah,
like,
wow.
Like,
I'm sorry, Jason Tatum just like threw up a nasty brick that hit like all backboard.
I know, dude. And the fact that the Sixers are going to lose this game is hilarious. But like, yeah, like for all of CJ McCollum's a decent player. I think it's just a matter of like they need somebody else. They need to choose between Zion or Brandon Ingram, and I feel like they'll probably choose Zion over Brandon Ingram because Zion's a better player. So like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to judge them without Zion, like Tyrese is saying. But also, like, I feel like we've eclipsed caring about other teams now. Like the Knicks, I'm not saying we're better than all other teams. I'm just saying, like, we don't have to, we don't have to do that thing where we stand on other, franchises' shoulders to elevate ourselves. That's like that there's that Pelicans beat writer who's like created this rivalry with the Knicks because Zion
in his head.
Yeah,
it's so wild. He's always talking about the Knicks, and it's like, do we really want to be like that guy? Like, that's pathetic. Let's talk about the Knicks.
Also, I just want to say, Brandon Ingram fucking sucks. God, Brandon Ingram fucking sucks. Like, okay, he's a decent player, but like that guy's essentially been the same player for the last 4 years, and he cannot stay healthy. He hasn't played 70 games since his first year in the league. And anybody who wants him on the Knicks, like, I get the idea of like, oh, let's replace RJ Barrett with like an all-star caliber player, but like he doesn't move the needle. He's not a needle mover. I'm sorry. Julius Randle is the best out of the baby Lakers, and that's that on that.
Yeah. Mano F says, "Let's hope this game helps RJ build a rhythm to close out the season strong." Yeah, definitely. I think he like RJ at this level definitely like brings the Knicks offense, which was already pretty good, to a stronger level. Makes us more of a threat, I think. And yeah, I just if he's able to play this way as well as Grimes being able to hit the threes that he was able to hit today, Hart providing like the 12 to 15 points that he's able to provide, quickly being quickly, like this is just a really great strong 1 to 9 rotation that doesn't have much flaws, honestly, and like the flaws are able to be patched up by other players and their strengths. So you're just hoping that Thibs is able to like mix and match more often to be able to optimize, the best out of everyone. But yeah, hopefully RJ can build a rhythm, and this helps build momentum for the playoffs too.
I want him to do it so bad, man. Like, he passed so well of his drives today, and I'm just like, just do that. Just do that. Like,
That's what's so frustrating because it's there and you see it, and then it's like the next game he's like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Like, he still forced with the bullshit shot or two, but like it was so much more controlled, and it made so much more sense. Like you could tell like he had a path of like, I'm gonna drive, I'm gonna take this shot, I can now take the shot. Oh wait, I can pass. There's an opportunity open. And it's just like that was his best decision making game of the season. And it's like if he could just do that regularly, like he doesn't need to be a 20 point per game scorer, but he can be just because like he's gonna have more efficient opportunities. So it's just like it's all there, and I just want him to like do it. Oh, it's so frustrating when he just has like these 6 for 21 nights with like 3 assists and 5 turnovers.
Something that stood out to me tonight was sometimes it feels like RJ really gets lost in the offense, and some nights it's justified. He's just not playing well, and he should just be like the third option spot up shooter. But there will be times when like he has a good possession or two to start the game, and then like literally he just disappears, and like he goes like 4 or 5 minutes without a legitimate touch. And something that stood out to me tonight was it really seemed like Brunson made an executive decision that RJ was playing well and sort of embraced playing off ball more, like standing in that wing, standing in that corner. It felt like RJ was really getting more consistent touches, and it really felt that way when Quickly was on the court to start the second and fourth quarter. It really felt like Quickly was doing what he could to make sure RJ was like involved and initiating. Like Quickly had a good feel for the fact that RJ was playing well and wanted to keep running the offense through him. And that was really good to see because this isn't like as good as much as we like Brunson and Randall. And as we're talking about Randall being all NBA. This still isn't a team with, it's not a stars and scrubs team. They're not going to win the championship or win multiple playoff series riding these two guys. This needs to be a team. And that was a really encouraging thing that I noticed tonight.
Yeah. I do feel like embracing RJ has been like a really weird thing for this team. And Brunson didn't force it tonight. And I know he forced it yesterday, and I wouldn't be surprised that that was like a cognitive decision for him to be like, okay, well, Brunson, Randall's got it going, RJ's got it going. Quick has got it going. I feel like he deferred to Quick a lot too. And he was just like, all right, I'm going to treat like his back of my Dallas days next to Luka, and I'm just going to do more stuff off the ball. Like, this has to be his lowest usage game in like 2 months, which is a really good thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, Brunson, you nailed it. He needs to find a middle ground more of the time. Like it can't, those possessions, you don't want Brunson to completely go away from isolating because he's such a good one-on-one player. But he goes through these stretches sometimes where it's like 2-3 possessions in a row where he's the only guy touching the ball. And like, I just feel like it doesn't correlate with all the guys staying in flow and making sure everyone is in rhythm, ideally. So I thought he found that balance much better tonight.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I also, for me, it's so weird because this team will like not. Oh.
Yep. It didn't count either.
Oh. Wow.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I would be pissed.
You guys want to use your words and expand on what's happening?
Okay, so in the Celtics Sixers game, so Tatum it's 5 seconds left on the clock. Tatum hits a pull-up 3, puts them up 3, and Embiid hits a 3/4 shot, like he's at least 75 feet out, and Embiid hits it, but it's after time expired, and he knew it right away, and then he just walked to the locker room shaking his head in disgust. And once again, the Celtics own the Sixers, and anybody who really thinks that he's going to make this a series is blind.
Man, NBA been wild since All-Star break came back, man. I'll say that. We've been getting a lot of like exciting finishes between that Philly Memphis game, this game, the Kings Clippers game the other night. The NBA has been on fire, I'll say that, which is, a nice change from earlier in the year when, everyone was blowing each other out. Pause. But yeah, back to RJ. It's so weird because like earlier in the year, the team was able to find a balance of like RJ being involved with Brunson and Randall. Like there were a lot of games earlier in the season before like RJ was out with the finger injury. I feel like that's when the change happened, or at least like the shift kind of happened, because like Brunson and Randall they got like adjusted to like playing without him for an extended period of time, and they got so used to playing with like Quickly and Grimes and like their play styles. And like when RJ came back, it was kind of like a weird adjustment period of like them trying to like find the balance of him being in the offense and him getting his own and scoring. Because like before the finger injury, there were a ton of games where like all three of them were scoring like 20 plus casually a night. And then the finger injury happens, and then he comes back, and then it's this weird adjustment period. It's been kind of awkward ever since then. So hopefully, like starting now, they can like really gain some type of cohesiveness and momentum together, because it would really help them going into the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean RJ playing well this is the second straight game I thought he defended really well. By the way, we haven't talked about that side of the ball. But Randall's defense on Ingram was out of this world, to the point that they were dying to get Randall off of Ingram, and both Grimes and Barrett were up to the challenge when they were switched on to Ingram. That was one of the better collaborative efforts you'll see on a player. Grimes was awesome on McCollum. It was just, I mean, what else can we say? This is just a really good team right now. Like that's what it is. Like they're playing really well on both ends of the court.
Yep. I did like the fact that Julius' defense is probably the best that he's played all season on an individual opponent. Like he had Brandon Ingram in hell. Like Brandon Ingram could not go anywhere against him. And like he would do all these shot fakes and trying to like he would be like shooting with arc on it to try to like get it over Randall, and like Randall was just not going for anything. It's like I think that shows you how well Randall defends in space. And the fact that he can legitimately defend 1 through 4 is like really big for this team's playoff defense. And if he's going to be playing like that and engaged like that, then like the ceiling's the roof. Like in a hypothetical matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers, like the fact that you could legitimately put Grimes, Hart, IQ, if you wanted to, you could put Deuce on him, and then you could put fucking Julius Randle in for possessions. Like, what do you do? What do you do? And like technically speaking, I know we don't think of him as a big wing, but like if he defends like that, he's a big wing.
Yeah. And I really wish Tibbs would see him as a big wing. Not because like it would change anything, but because it would clue him into the fact that like it's okay to sometimes play RJ or Hart at power forward. Like I'm not saying that they don't have the body that Julius does, but on some level, you know, if Julius Randle can defend 1 through 4 the way he does, and like, you know, be like Josh Hart can do it too, you know, like, and there's still things to unlock in this team. That's the scary part. Like, we're still just seeing this one version of this team. We don't even know what it would look like if like there were these lineups that we don't see. Like, this was just another night that, you know, all those lineups, some of those lineups that we talk about just weren't played together at all, you know, and you can't really complain about it anymore because they're winning right now. But as far as like getting the best version of this team and like maximizing its ceiling for the playoffs, we don't even know. Like that's really cool as a Knicks fan. How long has it been since we could say that?
The 90s, maybe. Like,
Before our time.
Yep. I don't remember it.
You say R, Sam, you know, like, but yeah. I'm old as fuck.
ZMP323 says, is this the most talented Knicks team of this millennium?
Yes. Quite easily. Like, I know there was like a 2002 team that made the ECF, but like this team is younger. This team has just better depth all around. This team had just way more asset set play compared to those other teams, and it just feels like this is the most sustainable Knicks core and like foundation of all time. And that's exciting because we've never seen the Knicks in this capacity. Like, I know we had Ewing, and obviously I'm not going to count like pre-80s basketball because that's just like so distant. I know we celebrated the 50th anniversary, like the golden anniversary, but like, dude, like that was a different NBA. But like in the modern NBA, this is probably the single best position the Knicks have been in as a franchise, just due to how the league works today. And it's like we've never seen the Knicks be like an attractive destination aside from when Melo wanted to come here. And even still, like we built it off Stat, who was a tipping time mom, and guys were traded in order to acquire him. So like the Knicks can draft, the Knicks can sign pivotal free agents. They've done it with their 2 best players. The Knicks can negotiate extensions that are fair value for the team and fair value for the player. Like that Mitch extension looks beautiful. I expect them to do the same with Josh Hart. Yeah, like just all around this team is just firing on all cylinders, and they're just like they're one quote unquote top 5 player away, and that's really the best place to be in as a franchise.
Yeah, I don't think it's close. And you know that 2013 team was a ton of fun. And
old as hell.
It was old as hell, and it also had the one advantage two advantages I would say it had on this team. One, I mean, its best player was better than the Knicks' best player this year. That matters. And 2, it was perfectly constructed around its best player. This team is doing the best it can, and I'm not this isn't me hating on the front office, but it's definitely not like a perfect fit. Like these guys are manufacturing fit. Melo needed rim protection and he needed shooting. And that 2012-2013 team had the best rim protector in the league since Dwight Howard was dead at that point, and all the shooting Melo could ask for. It was the only season Melo truly embraced playing that power forward role. Like, I mean,
thanks
people
to
forget
Stoudemire's knees falling off his legs.
Right. But like, and then Melo complained and went back to playing small forward and all of a sudden couldn't defend anymore. Like, and like, I don't think that gets talked about enough. Like people are always like, oh, we we did Melo a disservice in those later years, but like you're kind of handcuffed when he refuses to play power forward. That's his true position, and he always saw himself as like want more of a Kobe. He wanted to be like that. Whatever, going off on tangent. But fit and best player aside, this team 1-9 is just so good. We're gonna have the sixth man of the year. We just are. He's gonna win sixth man of the year. If he doesn't, it's a joke. Malcolm fucking Brogdon, they're 6 points better when he doesn't play. And everybody's always told me that it's the easiest thing in the world to have good impact stats when you come off the bench because you only play other bench players. Well, how come Malcolm Brogdon can't win his fucking minutes? If he's so good and he's definitely going to win sixth man of the year, they're so much better when he doesn't play. It's just such a joke.
Sixth man of the year has become so lazy because it's either a PPG thing or it's like best bench player on the best team in the league or something like that. Like it's always one or the other.
I remember when Jordan Carson had that thing wrapped up before the new year came around, and it was like he's not even the best player on this team. It was Ingles, but like he won it, so it really sucks that thing's like a PPG award because it should not be.
So lazy.
I think they took it down right now, unfortunately.
The odds.
Yeah, I want to see if I guess they're probably readjusting, but I bet Quickly's price drops again tonight because I'm
gonna check on FanDuel, but as I do check, Vivek says Mitch is the difference to me. He opens up the lob threats, which gives RJ easy assist opportunities amongst others. I'm curious to see the correlation between RJ with and without Mitch this season. I think I saw something the other day on Twitter about like his like assist numbers or his passes with Mitch in the lineup and without him. So I think there definitely is something there. I will say that.
Yeah, it's not even. It's yeah. I don't. First of all, I don't get why, especially Hardenstein, isn't better at rolling. Like he's really struggled as a roller this year, and it's kind of frustrating. Because
he'll like roll and then he'll stop at like the top of like the free throw line or something like that.
Yeah, he doesn't know where to go. It's really weird. Because he's such a smart player, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's something he should be good at. Obviously, he's never gonna have the vertical gravity that Mitch does, but and Sims, I'm actually quite surprised that Sims didn't develop better chemistry with RJ because he's a better screen setter than Mitch is, even right now. And he obviously has the vertical skills. So I am curious. I don't understand why RJ didn't develop better chemistry with him. But yeah, I mean, RJ found Mitch for at least 2 more assists tonight. They clearly have something going there. So yeah, I agree with Vivek.
Yep. Mitch is just so underrated, and like you see it in the on and off. So like, yeah, man, Mitchell Robinson is great. Also, yeah, those odds for IQ are stupid. I think he's still at like 5,000.
On FanDuel, is plus 6,000 right now.
Wow,
let's go.
Honestly, I would probably make a play for that. Like, I do feel like the last 20 games, I feel like Monday's going to be a big game. Monday's going to be a big game for those odds. Like,
is it national TV versus the Celtics?
Don't think so. But
surprising.
I don't think they're doing national TV on Monday.
Yeah, that's right. There is no national TV on Monday.
It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. To a lesser extent, and then Sundays. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I think Quickly probably finish top 3 in the voting though.
Definitely should.
You're muted, Jeff. You're muted.
Don't they usually do NBA TV on Monday sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
But I don't really consider that like national TV.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It just blacks it out for me, which is annoying.
Let's see. Jordan Bub says the only things to complain about this game are Thibs putting back starters in the fourth quarter, bad free throws, and being very close to the ball. But some turnovers can be attributed to refs hating the Knicks. I don't know which turnovers he's talking about, which could be attributed maybe the stepping out of bounds stuff, maybe
the quickly double dribble that wasn't a double dribble.
Oh, the double dribble. Okay. But yeah, the Thibs thing about the starters thing in the fourth quarter that was funny. He just like I don't know if he gets like PTSD from like all the blown leads that we've had this year alone.
Why doesn't he get PTSD from Derrick Rose breaking his fucking leg? I don't understand. Where's that PTSD? What do we need?
RJ last year.
What needs to happen for him to learn his lesson? I don't understand. RJ got hurt last year. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand. What the hell was that? And not to mention, I'm kind of mad that, dude, if he didn't put Randall back in, that alley-oop goes to Obi.
Yeah.
That's an Obi lob, and that is a totally different moment. Like, that would have been one of the coolest moments ever. Quickly to Obi off the backboard with Obi doing something crazy. Tibbs robbed us of that. Like,
we could add another East Bay. Like, come on.
Yeah, he might have done something crazier. He might have done like a 360 windmill or something, just to give fans a little something because Jericho did bullshit in the dunk contest. I'm glad we don't have to ever speak about that ever again. By the way,
I told you he was gonna stick that shit up. He's a power dunker. He doesn't have any he jumps high, and that's kind of it. And that was his dunks. His dunks were as missionary as he is, and that's okay.
Okay, good question here. What Clyde Frazier? How have your expectations for the playoffs shifted from when Mitch first went down to now? Back then, I was thinking winning the play-in. Now I'm talking myself into the 4th seed.
Yeah, that's what I think where I'm at. 4th seed, and I feel like the team should win a series.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we get the Cavs, because we don't even have to pretend like, oh, Tibbs should go small. Like, you don't go small against the Cavs. They've got Mobley and Allen. So there's no, I'm just saying, like, if we lose to the Cavs in 5 or 6, and then the narrative coming in that series is like, we need a superstar, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm actually going to like go crazy. You guys are going to have to like talk me off the ledge because I can't deal with that. Like, this is clearly a really good team. This is a team that can beat the Cavs. If we lose, like, I understand range of outcomes. I understand variance. If we lose like a hard-fought 6 or 7 game series where, a couple breaks go the Cavs' way, I won't care. That's fine. To me, that's the floor. We can't lose in 5 to the Cavs. Can't do it. Need to at least have that. To me, that's the floor of this ceiling. We need to have a competitive first-round series. And I think we should beat the Cavs. I really do. I mean, Tyrese was just talking about it 10 minutes ago. How many different guys can we throw at their 2 guards? Like we will always have at least 1, oftentimes 2 guys on the court that can at least, I'm not going to say stop, but they can at least present a challenge to Mitchell and Garland. We have Mitch against Allen. We have Randall against Mobley. Like,
that should be like a slaughter. Like, you cannot put Mobley's body against Randall for a whole series. Like, He might have a game, but like Randall is just going to wear him down with elbows and body blows all series long. And you're asking a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old to like handle that over the stretch of a series. I don't think he can do that. And that's not enough of Mobley, but like it's just Randall is playing at that level.
I guess it's relevant, but if I was the Cavs, I would put Allen on Randall and I would put Mobley on Mitch.
And that would be even worse. Like, because I think Mitch is going to absolutely eat Mobley alive on the boards. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you have Allen defending space.
I don't know. I think Mobley could. I think he could. I'm not going to say hold. I'm not going to say. I just think that Allen is really good in like he is one of those guys who can like legitimately hang in there on switches and stuff, And so like Randall operating from the mid post, I think Allen could do a much better job than Mobley. And Mobley's 6'11". He's got crazy length, and keeping him around the rim, having him be the one who, is dealing with those Mitch rim runs, dealing with Mitch on the glass. To me, that's a better combination. I do agree with you that Mitch will have his way on certain possessions, but I think you'd rather seed that than seed Randall getting comfortable in the series.
I get it. I don't know. I think if you put Mitch against Mobley, I feel like that is going to be like Mitch is just going to box him out, and I think that their rebound is just going to suck that series. But yeah, also like they don't have any wings on that roster, so like there's no body they can throw.
And we get to hide Brunson on Okoro.
Yeah, yeah, like that is a really good matchup for this team.
Yeah, they should win that series.
And like they don't even have a pivot from Okoro because like who's their backup? Lamar Stevens? Like you're gonna get the high Brunson on somebody.
They've got Danny Green.
All right,
Lamar Stevens, Danny Green, Karis LeVert. Ooh, scary wing rotation.
Yeah, they have no wings. They have minimal shooting, and they have bodies to throw against their two best players.
That's why we've been able to, beat them twice already this year. And do we play them one more time?
Yeah, we do. And that first game was bullshit because they were running out fucking every 4 days.
They turned into the Maury Ball Rockets from 3, where they.
And Kevin Love can't hurt us anymore.
Yeah,
Kevin Love cannot hurt us. That was still his best game of the season. I'm so pissed about that game.
It really was his best game, hilariously.
God, 24 threes. Fuck out of here.
We beat them both times in New York, right? And then lost to them in...
Yes.
In Cleveland, yeah.
And we waxed them in New York that first time, where it was just basically they could not get any offense off. And the second time was the Randall 37 points.
Yeah, I remember I was convinced that I made a joke to my friend that the Cavs were playing the long game, they punted the game so that we wouldn't fire Tibbs. Because if you remember, that was one of the first fire Tibbs games. If they lost that game, it was over.
Yep.
I think it came immediately after the Mavericks game, literally the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what could have been?
How the season has absolutely flipped on its head since then.
It's really crazy.
Yep. And now we're thinking about
honestly, credit to Tibbs, stubborn guy, obviously, but dude, he sticks to his guns, and this team they have not stopped playing for him all season. That's more than anything, that's a coach's job. So we're going to come on here and we're going to talk about stuff we don't like. That's what we're here. That's part of what we're here to do. But I mean, I don't think there's any reasonable argument that Tibbs shouldn't be the coach right now. I think that would be worse for the team than better, even if some things would change. So, do I want him to keep evolving and hopefully he makes some changes? Yes. Do I think it's ridiculous that Brunson and Randall continue to play entire quarters together? Yes, I do. But the fact of the matter is we're a 35-27 team on a 5-game winning streak, top 7 in net rating. So good on Tibbs. He deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sadly. JL says the most assists RJ has had in the game was 9, and it's in the 11th game of his rookie year. It's crazy to me that he hasn't topped it once with his increased usage. Well, he looks more to score now. With his increased usage, he's looking more to score. So, passing isn't something that passing has been something that we've been criticizing him for since his usage has increased. It's why aren't you passing more out of drives and stuff like that? So it's good to see him do it today. Hopefully, he can continue to find that balance between the scoring and dishing going forward. But yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect summation of it. I agree. It's all about the balance. And he did a great job of that tonight, and hopefully he keeps – I just hope that he values process over results, because somebody made a really good point on Twitter today. They said that it really seems like when RJ's shot is falling, he expands his game, which is weird because – and it's true, but it shouldn't work that way. Like he was basically saying that, like, when his shot is off, he looks for his shot more. But when his shot is rolling, he looks to like be a more complete player and make the right reads. And it's like, I hope he sees how valuable this process is and how valuable it is to make the right reads, whether his shot is falling or not. Because, you know, the thing about, we always talk about him, the thing about Immanuel Quickley is it doesn't matter if his shot is falling. It's really hard for Immanuel Quickley to not be good in a basketball game because he's so process oriented. Like those days of him like pounding the air out of the ball and having these awful possessions are pretty much gone. Like they're very far in between. So, you know, Quickley's defense is always going to be there. His effort's always going to be there. He was great on the glass again tonight. 2 blocks and a steal. Like, it's just really hard for him to have a bad game. And RJ can do that too. He can put himself in a spot where it's okay if he goes 1 for 9 because he only Randall creates what RJ creates. I love Jalen Brunson, but he doesn't have this. He does not have the ceiling in terms of initiating and putting pressure on the core of the defense, forcing that collapse and creating kickouts and creating the swings. RJ can do that, and he can put himself in a spot where it's okay if he starts a game 1 for 9 because he's creating good offense, and it's okay if he starts a game 1 for 9 because his defense is consistently there. That is on the table for him, and I hope he sees that and he starts valuing that process because it's there for him.
I really think finding consistency is something that if he is able to find consistency, then like he's just going to be such a valuable player because he'll be able to do a little bit of everything. And it's like, as you saw tonight, he can score, he can also pass. I would like to see him get more active from the boards, but like that's nitpicking at that point. But it's like if he could just do the little things that help this team win, then like feasibly speaking, like how much can you really stop this team? If he's just able to like pass out of drives and someone like Grimes is able to like really get into their flow again, you know? There's just such a high ceiling with him playing in that role.
Yep, and the more willing passers we have on this team, the more we're able to force, you know, the collapse so we can get those swings going. What you just said is such a good point. Grimes was more involved tonight than he's been in weeks. He got more looks tonight than he's gotten in weeks, and a huge part of that was RJ being involved in the initiating. Grimes isn't going to get as many looks when Brunson's initiating because Brunson doesn't force those collapses. Brunson is a one-on-one maestro, and he operates in the mid-range. That is not conducive for a guy like Grimes. But RJ's style of play is conducive for a guy like Grimes, and so that's huge. He raises the ceiling of this team when he plays the right way and he plays good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great process all around from RJ tonight. I know that's one thing that we used to say all the time for Quickley when he used to have like these dicey games. A good process from RJ. Hopefully he can continue to replicate it. Jeff, we had some comments directed towards you. I don't know if you want to read these out loud. So we got this one from Severinks. He is someone that usually likes to leave comments the day after we upload live. But here you go, Jeff.
Hey, Frank Barrett, of course, there were questions about whether Tibbs' system worked in the regular season because all of the fans want him fired all the time. Yeah, I mean, I was saying that earlier, you know, we have to see what happens in the playoffs, but I don't think it's like a crazy thing to point out that Tibbs is relative to his regular season success regressed in the postseason. Like, okay, like you can't blame them losing to the Heat in 2011, and you can't blame 2012 when Rose got hurt on him. And then 2013, that was a reclamation. They actually overachieved. They beat Brooklyn in 7, when they were underdogs and Nate Robinson was their best player. And then they stole a game from Miami, and Miami only to lose 5. But after that, you have 2 really, really bad series against the Raptors and the Wizards where they were home favorites in both, and they just got decimated. And then, you have a Minnesota team that I don't know what was going on there. And then you have the Knicks series against the Hawks. And yeah, Mitch was out. But enough of these keep adding up, and you sort of run out of excuses, and you have to start trying to dissect why it is that Tibbs maximizes or approaches maximizing regular season wins, but then there's no adjustments, and it's just underperforming in the playoffs. And I don't think that's unreasonable or an outrageous thing to say. So thanks for the comment.
Yeah. Or just his other comment because I thought it was not as nice. So I'm going to keep scrolling and finding a better comment to address. Let's see. Okay. Jordan Bub says, mark this on the calendar for March 31st, Friday night. Probably gets this flexed onto ESPN, depending on how everything shakes out. Could be a battle for 4th seed at Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, we already got one of our games flexed. The Kings game. It's gonna be on TNT, I believe. Instead of Nets versus Bucks. So
we'll be watching. That's interesting. There is a really good chance of the 4th seed. There's like a really good chance of the 4th seed because like I'm looking at the Cavs next couple of games and like they just lost to the Hawks. They play the Raptors. They play the Celtics. Then they play the Celtics again. Like they played the Celtics twice in a week, and then they play the Heat twice. Like by the time they get to the Knicks, like that legitimately could be a battle for the 4th seed. If not, the Knicks might have some time up on them. So like, I don't know, man. The fact if this team ends up getting the 4th seed after all of the snark and slander, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the almighty 4th seed bit, like that would just be, it would almost be like a full circle moment.
Yeah. And you'd also be like, they could have gotten the 3rd seed if they got their head on their ass for the first quarter of the season. Almighty 4th seed is back.
We also got flexed onto national TV. The Kings game got flexed over the Nets Bucks game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Poor Nets, man. That's really like I think people probably realize the Nets can't score, and now
it was fun. It was fun for all those people that are like, oh, the Nets, they're still gonna be a playoff team. They're gonna be fun. It's like, well, can they score the basketball? Because like the Bulls absolutely beat the brakes off of them the other day, because they couldn't score the basketball. And if you can't score on the Bulls, that's probably an issue.
Like they did their job against the Heat, but it took Mikal Bridges having the game of his life. So like, and also one team who can't score is Miami. So like, yeah, Miami can't score.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're 27th in offensive efficiency. Like they are bad. But yeah, so like they have the Hawks, they have the Bucks, then they play us again, and the Celtics. Like, I expect them to drop into the play, and they might honestly end up being like the 8th seed. So,
you think the Heat are going to be the 8th seed?
No, I think Nets are.
Oh, Jesus!
I think the Hawks are better than them. I think the Heat are better than them. So, it wouldn't surprise me if they lost the play-in. Like they really cannot score, and like you can't build an offense in 20 games to complement McCall Bridges' lack of creation, unless you would have run Spencer Dinwiddie ISOs. So that's kind of where I'm at with that team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Knicks have a really good chance to make up some space in this race. You just think, man, if this team didn't get off to such a lousy start to start the year, where this team could be right now.
They could be third.
Yeah, possibly.
Like they realistically could have been third. They're tied up the Sixers, so like it really could have been a conversation. But
Oh, we play the Nets soon. Okay.
yep.
On Wednesday. Should be an interesting game. At home. All right. Chance to, really make up that's a chance to make up some real ground. And then we play Miami on Friday.
Mm-hmm. And if
Time for the Knicks to, really put up.
if they could sweep
Make
that
folks
week,
shut up.
man, if they could sweep that week, I would be insufferable. Like that would be a statement week. Like Celtics, Heat, Nets. Like you basically, I think that would like damn near guarantee you out of the play-in because you'd have the tie break. Like you'd even up the series against the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have 2 games up on the Heat. You push the Heat even further into the
play-in,
and the Nets are going to drop anyway. Like they're already 2.5 up on Miami. Like there's a chance that they can legitimately be like 4. So that's if they could win Monday, man. I feel like they sweep the week. I don't know. I just have to feel like that. I feel like they sweep the week if they win Monday. They sweep the week and Julius Randle gets Player of the Week. Like that's what I expect to happen.
It's not, let's take it one game at a time here, guys.
50 wins, we're back in the menu.
God, that'd be so wild.
50 wins would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they got 35.
50 wins.
You go 15-5 the rest of the way.
I'm not gonna say no.
Man, I mean, here's the thing: if they go 15-5 the rest of the way with the strength of schedule that they're facing, they're going to be like legitimately favored, like betting favorites to win that first round series.
Yep.
Man, they have a really nice end to the season, though.
Honestly, like there's a chance they could flirt with the 3, depending on how the Sixers go. If they go 15-5 down the stretch, they're flirting with 3.
I mean, we did this one. We did this once before, Tyrese, and you were way more right than I was. So when we went through the schedule, and you were like, "No, we got that game," and me and Sam were like, like we were definitely.
That was dicey, man, because that was a point in the season like where like the team was still looking like really shaky in a lot of games, and like we just had lost Mitch, and I was just like, I don't see like where this confidence is coming from, but hey,
I'm never wrong. Just
you're wrong about some things.
I'm never wrong.
You're wrong about some things.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Mad quiet. Exactly. Nothing else. What am I wrong about? Exactly.
Don't worry.
All right.
I'll get something by night's end. All right. So next game is against the Celtics on Monday. At home. Should be a chance to, This is a chance to get a statement win. I know we beat the Celtics recently. In Boston on TNT. That's part of where like the Emmanuel Quickly hype started to really gain some steam national media wise. But yeah, I mean, this is a chance to, make another statement win versus the Celtics. It won't be on national TV this time, but it's versus one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league. And yeah, if you could get a win at home while you're trying to like gain some momentum towards the playoffs, this is what it's all about. And hopefully they could do that.
You could make an argument that this game against the Celtics is like the game of the season because the Knicks have all the momentum and they're riding high, and this is like a show me game. Like, how for real is this team? You know, can they? Celtics are a really good team. They just went into Philly and won, and you guys are saying Tatum didn't even have his best stuff. Like, that's how good the Celtics are right now. And if you say that the Knicks, you know, are going to be coming off, like if they beat the Celtics Monday night, and you say that this is a team that's now won 6 games in a row and won 2 in a row against Boston, like how much longer before how much longer before people just acknowledge that this is a legitimately good team? I mean, I think we're already there, but I do think Monday night is not make or break it, but you want the team to show up and you want them to play well Monday night.
Yep. And if like the ceiling is the roof from that, because like I feel like if they can beat the Celtics, man, then like I think if they beat the Celtics, they sweep the league. Because I just kind of feel like this team's gonna be riding so high that like it's gonna be hard to put them down. And then you look past that week, it's Hornets, Kings, like. I don't want to Will Ferrell it. I don't want to Will Ferrell it and say we're going streaking. But we're halfway there. Like we're like shirtless. We're not fully naked, but like I don't know, man. I feel like we're on the precipice of some good time.
Manuel quickly triple-double off the bench on Brogdon's head, leading the Knicks to a win will be special.
Oof. Need it.
Really is. Speaking of make or break it, it is a big game for his 6 man of the year chances, you know? Like, he outplays Brogdon on, you know, in a Knicks win. Whew. Give me all that. Give me it.
Yep, I'm here for it. I am definitely here for it. All right. I think we'll end things off here. Shout out to everyone that joined us in the stream today. Shout out to everyone that came through, you know, enjoyed another Knicks win. 5 in a row. We are heading into we'll be at home versus the Celtics. Hopefully we can, you know, make it 6 in a row. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We're on our way to 1K subs. We have just recently surpassed 600. Everything strict related is in the description. We got links to everything. We got links to the site. We got links to the merch. We got brand new merch, brand new spring collection. Just dropped this past week. Definitely check out all the new stuff. And some of the older stuff that we have is still there. So, you know, we do have those as well. Make sure you guys check out our links to Patreon and Twitter. Great ways to support us and follow what we're doing. We're also on Instagram at thestrict.land. Another great way to get your Knicks Strickland fix. All right. We will be back on Monday evening after the Celtics game. Hopefully the Knicks pull through with another win. 5-0 in the Josh Hart era. Peace out, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday.